Hello, I'm Heather.
And I'm Ryan.
Welcome to the podcast. It's game night, it's sibling rivalry, it's a walk down memory lane, but most importantly, it's politics free.
Guaranteed.
Welcome to the 10th and final round of Trial by Trolley. We are taking 2 weeks off after this episode. There will be no episode Christmas week or New Year's week, but we'll be back on the 9th of January with the first round of our new game. Real quick, the game instructions are the same for every episode of this game. If you're following along or this is not your first Trial by Trolley episode, skip ahead about 2.5 minutes if you don't want to listen to the whole thing again. Here's how it works. We have a set of cards. On each one is either an innocent or a guilty party. For example, on a guilty card, we might see a bunch of mafia thugs. And on an innocent card, we might see the world's greatest physicist. Now, imagine we are conducting a trolley and we're coming up to a split track. We can't stop the trolley. We have to switch it onto one of the tracks, but there is someone or something tied to each track. No matter which way we go, we are going to kill someone or destroy something. At first glance, the choice may seem simple. Using our example above, it would be easy for us to say, run over the mafia thugs and save the physicist. But there's a catch. And this is where we bring in the modifier cards. The modifier cards contain handy statements such as, killing them will release the 13 kids they have trapped in their basement, and would literally give you the shirt off their back. Now, if the world's greatest physicist has 13 kids trapped in their basement, and the mafia thugs would literally give you the shirt off their back, maybe the choice is no longer quite so clear. So here's what we're going to do. First, I'll read Ryan his cards, letting him know who or what is tied to each of the tracks, and he'll have to explain to me who he saves and doesn't save and why. Then we'll throw in the modifier cards and see if that doesn't change his mind at all. Then we'll switch it around and it'll be my turn. The scoring is entirely subjective. We can choose to reward or not reward each other however many points we want, and the other person just has to suck it up. Whoever scores the most points wins the ever-coveted Gloating Rights trophy.
Until we play again.
It should be noted that we are playing a modified version of this game because the correctly played version was too difficult for me to translate into podcast form. Also, once again, the game is called Trial by Trolley. It is sold by Skybound Games and is available at store.skybound.com. Link in the show notes. They are not a sponsor. The current running score is Ryan, 10,999,500. Heather, 998,257,731. Ryan, are you ready to give me my cards?
I am, Heather.
Excellent.
All right, Heather, on track number 1, the person you hated most in high school. Side note, Heather, was there someone you hated most in high school?
I don't really think so.
There's not a single person you
like
hated?
Nobody springs to mind.
Not a single person? Nobody?
Nobody, literally nobody springs to mind. Can you think of somebody I hated? Was there somebody I hated?
Oh, I can think of somebody I hated.
Well, I have no doubt about that.
All right.
Okay.
On track number 2, the person who invented pop-up ads. Who do you save and why? I feel like this will be real easy for you.
Well, I'm going to run over the person who invented pop-up ads since... I mean, I can think of somebody I maybe wasn't super keen on, but I don't wish them death. I still find the pop-up ad inventor way more annoying. So that person can bite the dust with my trolley.
Heather?
Thank you.
But would you change your mind with the...
modifier cards? Oh, he nailed that. Ryan, on track number 1, the person you hated most in high school is holding all of your pets.
All one of them?
Well, we've got 3 and like 27 if you count all the fish.
Oh. Okay.
We've got a cat, we've got a dog, we've got a hamster.
Well, those fish are dying anyway.
When? Do you have an inside track on this? Do they just not live very long?
I'm just saying if he's holding all of your pets, I don't think that he could hold the fish in a bag of water while trying to hold the other pets, or in a tank for that matter. I think he would have to have them in a bag with no water.
So this person I hated is already holding all my dead fish in a bag. You know what? Straight up, the fish are my husband's thing. I don't care about the fish. I pay no attention to them. I have to set reminders if I have to feed them because he's not going to be there. Or I will forget them.
Poor fish.
I know. Okay, so the person I hated most in high school, holding all my pets. On track number 2, the person who invented pop-up ads. Their death will be instant. They'll feel no fear or pain. Great. We're taking out the pop-up ad guy. Love it. He's going down. I'm keeping my pets. And the person who I kind of didn't like in high school, I'm sure they're fantastic now. They're probably doing great things with their life.
Awesome, Heather. And for that, I award you ready for this?
No.
891,084,925 points.
840,000?
891 million. 84,925 points.
925 points. Got it.
Excellent. Are you ready for your next set of cards?
I am. Did you almost forget that you had to do them?
Yes. All right.
Okay.
On track number 1, a promising young scientist. On track number 2, the lone survivor of a terrible trolley accident. Who do you save and why?
As always, this is a tough one, Ryan, because there have been a lot of really great people that have been run over by this trolley, if you don't count the modifier cards. It could be a jackass, though. Let's run over the lone survivor. They've already been hit once. I mean, they're used to it by now. And then we'll save a promising young scientist.
Fantastic, Heather.
Yeah.
How would you feel,
Also,
though? Oh, go ahead.
By the way, we just learned people can survive being hit by the trolley in this game.
Not by us. They survived some other trolley accident. Ours is final. They're dead.
Okay, that's a good point.
They're from some other game.
You're absolutely right. Sorry, what were you saying?
But would you change your mind?
Oh.
With the modifier cards?
The modifier cards? On track number 1, a promising young scientist is holding your family hostage. Well, that's a point against him. On track number 2, the lone survivor of a terrible trolley accident already told all their loved ones goodbye. You know what? We're going to save the lone survivor. Why put him through that trauma again? That's just mean. He's already been hit by a trolley once. What am I going to do? Hit him again? And now he gets to reunite with his family and not die. And a promising young scientist who's obviously going to invent terrible things because he's holding my family hostage can die.
So you're going to run over your entire family?
My family's not on the tracks.
I think it's implied that he's holding them hostage on the tracks.
Excuse me. When I did this to you, you're like, no, that thing's not on the track. So my family's not on the tracks. He's got them tied to a tree next to the track, and he is on the track by himself, pointing a gun at them. I'm going to hit him. Everything's going to be fine.
Excellent, Heather. Well,
yeah.
In that case, I award you, are you ready for this? 1,449,526,501 points.
Great, thank you. I'm glad you're having a good time.
All right, Heather, on track number 1, an extremely loud college a cappella team. On track number 2, that quote friend, unquote friend who spoils every movie and TV show for you.
Okay, you just really misused the quote-unquote thing right there. But I tell you what, Ryan.
How do you mean I misused it? Was I supposed to do one quote?
You went, quote, friend, quote, quote. No, this is what you did. This is what you did. Quote, friend, unquote, friend.
Oh, did I say friend twice?
You said friend twice.
Damn it.
All right. I love acapella. You know I do. Pitch Perfect is like my second favorite movie of all time.
Uh-huh.
I don't feel like running over this really awesomely loud acapella team. However, I do hate movies and TV shows being spoiled for me, so my quote, friend, unquote, friend is going to bite the dust.
Awesome. But how would you feel?
Uh-huh. How would you feel?
With the modifier cards.
On track number 1, an extremely loud college a cappella team dresses up as Spider-Man to cheer up patients at a children's hospital. Aww. I knew I liked these guys. On track number 2, that friend who spoils every movie and TV show for you. Batman will bring their killer to justice. That's mean, Batman. Why you gotta pick on me like that? This person ruins movies and TV shows. I did the world a favor, Batman. All right, you know what?
Hey, before you make a decision, Batman doesn't kill people. Best case scenario, you end up in Arkham Asylum.
Like, is that like Azkaban?
That's where all the deranged criminals go, like the Joker and...
Oh, okay.
Killer Croc. And
I'm not super familiar with the
Mr.
superhero
Freeze,
stuff.
the Riddler.
Not
the
even
Penguin.
gonna lie. Probably couldn't tell you the difference between Marvel and DC. I'm just gonna keep going. But yeah, I'm gonna take one for the team here, okay? Batman can put me in jail as I kill the spoiler, the walking non-spoiler alert. And the loud a cappella team that sings beautiful music to children in their Spider-Man costumes gets to live.
The children are in their Spider-Man costumes? Okay. Anyway, for that, Heather, I will give you 5,323,807,863 points.
Why would you correct my grammar? That's like that episode of Friends when Joey corrected Ross's grammar. And everyone just stopped and stared at him like, all right, sorry. Yeah, I'm not comparing you to Joey. You're smarter than Joey.
I was making...
How much?
I was making fun of you because the way you said it, it sounded like the children were in Spider-Man costumes. It's okay. We'll run back the recording and you'll hear it. You'll hear what I heard. And,
okay, quote friend, unquote friend, I will.
And that's exactly why I had to get you back, Heather. Thank you for setting me up.
All right, so 5 billion what now?
5,323,807,863 points.
Great. Ryan, are you ready for your cards?
Yes.
Not even going to do the math. We'll come back to it later. Ryan, are you ready for your cards?
Mm-hmm.
On track number 1, your hometown sports team that you love and care about deeply. It doesn't actually say that on the card. On track number 2, the world's greatest chef. Who do you save and why?
Listen, I don't remember anybody on my hometown sports team, but there's more of them, and they're all good people, so I'm going to run over the chef because there's only one of them.
All right. I see your logic there, but Ryan, what happens when we add...
The modifier cards?
The modifier cards. On track number 1, your hometown sports team legitimately thinks pedestrians have the right of way on trolley tracks. I mean... On track number 2, the world's greatest chef is secretly the kingpin calling the shots for the entire Russian mafia.
Bam. You know what? I think I'm going to hit the chef. I made the right call the first time. Bam.
There
dead.
you go.
They can keep on
Ryan,
believing what they want to believe, even though they're wrong.
That is a fantastic answer. 0 points for that answer.
Yes!
Ryan, are you ready for your next set of cards?
Why, yes, Heather. I am ready for my next set of cards.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm glad this took a formal turn. On track number 1, an old-timey outlaw with a bounty on their head.
Hell yeah.
On track number 2, the world's most obnoxious improv group. Who do you save and why?
I'm taking out the outlaw and collecting that bounty.
Good choice, Ryan. And then you can have some comedy as you enjoy the bounty.
Some terrible comedy, but you know what?
Some obnoxious comedy.
I'll be laughing my way to the bank.
Nice. I love it. But Ryan, would you change your mind at all with these modifier cards? On track number 1, an old-timey outlaw with a bounty on their head unironically voted nope.
What was the card? You know you have to tell me the card now.
Insert beep.
Hilarious.
All right. On track number 1, an old-timey outlaw with a bounty on their head. Hitting them will just split them into 2 half-sized versions of the original.
Double bounty, let's do this!
But it's only half the size, so it's really just the same bounty.
Damn it.
On track number 2, the world's most obnoxious improv group. The evil genius who masterminded this whole scenario. What? What whole scenario?
This whole scenario.
Being on the trolley?
With the trolleys. Including the modifier cards. Listen, so I can't run over the old-timey outlaw because now I can't collect the bounty because he's just going to split in 2 and still be an old-timey outlaw running amok, double trouble. So I'm going to take out the terrible improv group for setting this whole shenanigan up.
Ryan, I am in agreement with you. I think that is a fantastic answer. 0 points for that answer.
All right.
Ryan, are you ready for your final set of cards in this game of Trial by Trolley?
Yes.
I couldn't figure out what we were playing for a second there. Okay. On track number 1, the DMV.
Ooh.
For anybody listening not in America, the DMV is the Department of Motor Vehicles, known for its piss-poor service, very long lines, high fees, etc. On track number 2, all the children you will ever have. Who do you save and why?
Well, I'm taking out the DMV.
Yeah,
I
you
love
are.
my kids.
But Ryan, what happens when we add the modifier cards? On track number 1, the DMV is immortal and can only be killed by a runaway trolley. Doesn't really change things much there, but anyway. On track number 2, all the children you will ever have will replace your boss in 3 months. Who do you save and why?
I'm taking out the DMV. I get to work for my kids.
Don't you already work for your kids? Be honest. Oh, my kids order me around all the time.
Oh.
And I've started to realize that I have to make them do stuff for themselves because it's like I don't mind. And then I'm like, they're kind of ordering me around though.
So
like a slave. I should tell them to do stuff on their own.
Yesterday, Rebecca and I were running around running errands. And I still had to make dinner. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just get some food. Ask the kids what they want. And as we were getting ready to text the kids and find out what they wanted, they texted us saying they were hungry and they wanted us to get something for them to eat. So Rebecca was like, well, what do you want? So they wanted McDonald's. So we got McDonald's. And we get home and Chloe goes, see, I told you it would work. And I was like, ha, joke's on you. We're already planning on getting you food.
Kids. Well, Ryan, I tell you what. I love that answer. For that answer, I award you
0 points. Better be 0.
5 quintillion
You can't.
points.
No. Nope. Unacceptable.
5 quintillion.
No, Heather.
I don't even know how many zeros to add to this number. I'm just going to keep going. What's that? Hundreds, thousands, millions, billions,
Heather,
trillions. Hold on. Quadrillions. Quintillions. Ha ha.
I love it, Heather. You suck so bad at this game, you even made yourself lose.
18 zeros.
I set you up to win, and you made yourself lose. You suck. You don't deserve any of those points that I gave you. You can take them all away and have 0 points.
Ryan, for the final time, it is not rewarding to win a game when you're just getting pity pointed into the millions and hundreds of millions and billions.
Heather, you asked for it.
This got so out of hand. This is ridiculous. 10 rounds.
You asked for it. You're like, I always lose these games. How come you keep winning? And then here...
Oh, yeah, I cried about it, for sure.
You did.
Please continue.
You did. There, I saw
sobbing,
the tears.
Heaving
you
sobs.
You called me sobbing. How terrible you are at these games.
That is not a true story.
That is a true story. You
False.
Can't deny it.
Did not happen. Nope. We don't call, we text. So right there, boom, you're wrong.
Yeah, all the crying emojis. Ugh.
Listen, I think that we're just going to realize I'm not doing any of the math on this round, okay? Ryan won with quintillions. I'm somewhere probably in the trillions. I don't know. I'm not doing the math. I'm fairly certain quintillions higher than anything you gave me.
I don't think you made it into the trillions, Heather.
Well, Ryan, once again, not doing the math, so we'll never know. So, this brings us to the listener/Reddit stories. Hey, send us your stories. Email us at thepoliticsfreepodcast@outlook.com or message us on Instagram or post up on the subreddit. All of those things are linked in the show notes. Wait.
That was so passive-aggressive the way you said that. You're getting super annoyed with our listeners right now.
Am I? You know what? My full concentration right then was on remembering what the email address was. And then I was like, is it the Politics Free Podcast at Outlook or is it Politics Free Podcast at Outlook? And then I couldn't remember what the Instagram handle was or what the subreddit was called.
Internalized frustration towards yourself. Okay. Just so we're all clear.
I'm sorry that came across as madness at the listeners. I would never be mad at you. I love you. Never leave us. There's so few of you. Don't go. All right. So I thought we should get some improv group stories.
Ooh.
So I found the Reddit question, what are your improv horror stories? From The Monster. 4 of us on an away gig for some company's annual gathering. They wanted 45 minutes of improv while their group was eating dinner. Not perfect, but hey, it's a living. We arrived at the hotel banquet room. It's huge, seats 1,000, buffet style, open bar. We asked our contact where the stage is. There is none. We asked our contact where our mics are. There are none. So we do 45 minutes of short-form improv on the floor in a corner of a noisy, gigantic room beside the dessert table. There may have been 3 tables that had any chance of hearing us, and we were clearly a nuisance to them. Took several hot showers to wash that one off.
They're like, hey, give us a place. And they're like, shut the fuck up. We're trying to eat our dessert.
From Bay SF. My group opened a late night weekend jam several months ago that had like a 5-person audience. To begin the set, I go out and ask, what is something you'd really like to see a show about? Silence for a few seconds. Then a lady who looks like her puppy just died says, the Orlando shooting.
Oh my God.
Which had happened a few days prior. I accepted the suggestion over the quick protests of a few of my team members, I think for obvious reasons there, buddy, curious as to what would happen with such a serious suggestion. Ugh, now I know. First 2 or 3 scenes were like freezing in ice, waiting for death. Maybe halfway through the set, somebody in the audience laughed. Got better from there. as our montage set veered as far from the original suggestion as we possibly could go at light speed. Which, first of all, good on them for veering that away really fast, because you can't really make a comedy out of a mass shooting.
Right.
But B, lady, read the room. You're at an improv. So, like, come on. Really? You bring that up? Like, bring up something. Just say a hospital or something. You know?
A mass shooting at a hospital? That sounds
No,
terrible.
You say, what is something you'd really like to see a show about? A hospital. And then they could, like, do a ER satire. You know what I mean?
Go.
Like, of the TV show. Or, like, puppies. Or clowns. I don't know. You just pick something that could be comical. Do you know what I mean? When
Right.
you're at an improv. Like,
For
what are
sure.
you doing? I just thought that lady was silly.
Well, her puppy probably just died, and she was depressed.
He did mention that. From Lon Chambers. I once did an improv set when I unknowingly had appendicitis. Earlier that day, I had felt some pain and symptoms, but they didn't seem serious enough to register as potentially appendicitis. And it was my troupe's first show, so I wanted to be there. Anyways, you know how if you're sick and can barely function, your ailment sometimes just goes away when you get up on stage? That happened to me. Right after the show, the pain hits me and I couldn't move. I literally had to unbutton my pants and pull them down a little because the pain was so bad. Some folks from my troupe took me to the hospital and I had emergency surgery because my appendix was dangerously close to bursting. Before the surgery, the doctor mistook my troupe mate for my wife, girlfriend. He asked her if she could help me with the 2 enemas I needed to do before the surgery.
Improv in the hospital!
I know. Improv in the hospital. I forgot that this story ended in a hospital. The look of horror on her face is something I will never forget. I didn't need her help, thank God. She's a very dear friend, though. From FOWCC. One of my troops got hired by the Marines to do a workshop for a bunch of them and their families who just got back from deployment. Well, we found out about 5 minutes in that this was a mandatory thing for them, and about 95% of them did not want to be there. To add to that, one of my teammates that came along to help had never done a show for that many people before and had gone up to one of the tables during the workshop and was pretty rudely told not to bother them. To her credit, although she told me that she wanted to, she didn't cry. We made it through the full 2 hours and got paid in the end. The only thing that kept me there that day. I mean, come on, don't force improv on people that don't want improv. Yeah, you know. I love improvs. You know, did you watch, oh God, I think you even recommended it to me, but it's on Netflix. It's Ben Schwartz and Tom Middleton. Is that his name?
It sounds familiar.
Hold on. I've got to find this. I'm going to make a recommendation right here because it was hilarious. It's like 1 hour. They improv the whole thing, but it's a continuing story for an hour based off of an audience suggestion.
I don't think I've seen that.
And it was so funny. I swear you're the one that, I think it's just called Middleditch and Schwartz. That's what it's called, which is a lot to remember, but there's 3 episodes and it was hilarious. I thought it was great. So anybody, Netflix special, Middleditch and Schwartz, that's some great improv right there. That's what improv should be, in my opinion.
I have added it to my list. I have not seen it.
Oh, you're going to love it. Now I'm wondering who I got that suggestion from, because I swear it was you. But anyway, blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. That brings us to the close of this week's episode. Just a reminder, we will not have another episode again until the 9th of January, where we will be back with our new game. Still don't know what it is. We'll figure it out in the interim.
Send us your suggestions.
Oh my gosh, that's a great idea. The Politics Free Podcast at Outlook.com or Instagram or Reddit. The subreddit is Politics Free Podcast, and are we at Politics Free Podcast or at the Politics Free Podcast? It's one of those two on Instagram. You'd think I would know these things. But Yeah, if you've got a game suggestion, would love some game suggestions, because I'm afraid I don't want to do a dud. After this game, which was awesome, it's going to be hard to come up with something, but we'll figure it out. We'll find something good and fun. It'll be fine. We'll be fine. Ryan, we're going to do it.
Everything's fine.
Everything's great. Everything's fine. Have a very Merry Christmas, an incredibly Happy New Year. May you get all the things you wish over the holidays.
Until we play again. And happy holidays. And have a fucking happy new year.